Earth Day, and healthy living. Next on CityCorner. I'm Steve Potter, and welcome to CityCorner. We're going to be healthy today. I think that's a good way to put it. Later in the program, we're going to talk about the Healthy Living Expo, which is coming up on April the 14th. We'll preview that, but first, please welcome our guest, Jess Watson. She's the Executive Director of EarthDay 365. Jess, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
And I know that Healthy Living Magazine and the Earth Day celebration are not officially connected, but you must be cousins or something.
We've worked together for a long time. They run our Green Dining Alliance ads and our festival ads in their newspaper. They even have a booth at the festival, so they will be there.
And you're both kind of about the same thing.
We talk a lot about sustainability. Yeah,
right.
The two of us.
Earth Day 365. Now, what does this 365 mean?
It means that we want everybody to celebrate Earth Day every single day of the year, 365 days a year. Our mission is really to inspire and mobilize a collaborative movement towards equity and environmental sustainability in the region. So we're really a convener. We're trying to bring everybody together and push the environmental movement in certain directions.
What directions would those be without being too specific?
Well, I think it's good to be specific. The directions that we think are really important and crucial right now are to focus on climate change, on environmental justice, and zero waste living.
You know, I remember, this is probably before you were born. When I was in high school, we had one of the first Earth Day celebrations, been like in the early 70s.
Yeah, it was founded in 1970.
Okay, here's what I don't know if you're aware of not, and I joined the club. The high school had an Earth Day club or something.
Good for you.
Yes, but people thought that was kind of risque.
Risque? What was risque about it?
1971 or two, it was like kind of liberal.
You were a hippie? It was the hippie club?
It was a liberal thing. My point of bringing all that up to you is, boy, have things changed for a lot of reasons we could document, but we won't go into. But people take the environment and living healthy a lot more seriously now than they did back then when they made fun of me for being in the Earth Day Club.
Well, I mean, nowadays people realize that everybody's life depends on this, so it's pretty important for all of us to focus on it.
Okay, tell me, Earth Day 365, when, where?
So you mean the St. Louis Earth Day Festival? It is at Forest Park and the Muni grounds, kind of in front of the box office around the Pagoda Island there. It's April 20th and 21st. And, it's the largest Earth Day celebration in the Midwest for sure. We have 20,000 people. And this year our theme is climate action. So we'll be having that theme throughout the event.
And when you say climate action, does that refer to what you just mentioned, like our climate's changing, we need to get into action?
Absolutely. This isn't something that's happening in the future. It's happening today. Just this last week, we've had all the flowers bloom, and it's weeks earlier than it normally is.
Right.
Last year was the hottest year on record. We have torrential rain events on a regular basis, flooding in people's homes, bad air day, air pollution. So, yeah, these are all related.
And we're going to look at some images here in just a minute. But can you give us a brief overview of what to expect? Because you've got all kinds of vendors, activities, things to do. Can you paint with a broad brush?
Yeah, the thing that I love about this festival is that so much in terms of environmentalism, people can think, oh, it's doom and gloom. We're so worried about what's going on. But these 2 days are the days that we celebrate the amazing things that are going on in the region. And there's so much positive action that's happening and so many really cool things to learn about, to experience. It's all free. It's super family friendly. So we've got all sorts of rock climbing walls and bird shows and free yoga and live music. There's so much going on.
Well, we have some images we can share, probably from past festivals, I'm assuming, and you can kind of tell us. what we're looking at.
Absolutely. So last year we had 18,000 people. We have about 200 vendors every year. And we have an EarthDay cafe that serves not your typical festival fare. A lot of them are Green Dining Alliance restaurants. So there's a wide range. There's crepes. There's really quality burgers. There's even fufu, African fufu. So it's a really fun time.
Let's go to the next one.
So this are just some more beautiful shots of the location at the Muni grounds. We've got neighborhoods that focus on water, on artisans. There's a green marketplace with a sustainable fashion section. There's a down on the farm, so you can buy your plant starts for the year. There's a climate action zone, which is very important.
What's that?
People can learn how to adapt their home to make it more energy efficient. They can learn how to make changes in their lifestyle that will help to alleviate climate change. So
I was telling that silly story about me in high school back before this was sort of fashionable, but you must have seen it over the last 10 years, just how people take this more seriously and are more interested, right?
Absolutely, and there's huge industries that have built up around it in the region. There's lots of green jobs that, there's solar panel installations that are going on all over the place. We have a focus on electric vehicles at the festival, so people can learn more about that. Every aspect of sustainability will be represented.
Do you
at the
guys,
festival.
and I won't ask you anything political, do you guys get involved in politics though? Work with, legislators and things like that?
So we historically haven't been as policy focused, but we do influence local municipalities to try to change towards, for instance, better waste policies that will help with the recycling system. We try to promote composting, make that more accessible. And we have a major focus on illegal dumping and partnering with organizations that are experiencing this major problem.
I've seen a whole lot about that in the media over this last year or something. It's illegal dumping, so that's nothing to joke about.
No, absolutely not. It affects the quality of living for so many folks who live in neighborhoods that are experiencing high levels of illegal dumping, which is large parts of North City, certain neighborhoods in South City, such as Marine Villa, Dutchtown, and then large parts of North County. So we do partner with organizations that are working to fight these issues, and we do days of action. And there will be one on April 6th, actually, so people can celebrate Earth Month by coming out and volunteering in the Penrose neighborhood at the George Washington Carver farm.
Let's take a look at some more images for Earth Day, which is coming up, Earth Day 365.
This was one of my favorite aspects of the festival last year, and this was new. We had a sustainable fashion show that was mind-blowing. It was so professional. A lot of the looks were either upcycled and by local designers, or they were secondhand vintage, thrifted. And it was so gorgeous. And you could see they really focused on the fact that fast fashion is having a huge environmental impact globally. And so these are offering alternatives to just going to Target and buying a shirt off the rack.
Mm-hmm. Are you in that group? Are you a fashion model?
I am not. I'm definitely not a fashion model, but I was helping behind the scenes.
Huh. I went to your webpage. People should do that and check you out if they're not familiar. And without going into too much detail, I thought this was interesting. That you had a list of values posted. Mm-hmm. I just wanted to run them off. Equity, education, action, collaboration, and celebration. What does all that mean to you?
You can see all of those represented in the festival, absolutely. So we have been really working to make sure that the local environmental movement understands that equity has to be at the center of what we do. And for things like climate change, they're affecting neighborhoods that are poorest and that are communities of color first. And so we're trying to partner to help alleviate some of those issues. And we're trying to make sure that they're focused on at the festival. So we have a social justice neighborhood where people can learn more about a lot of the issues.
Let's take a look at another image.
So volunteers run this festival. We need over 200 volunteers, and it's such a fun volunteer gig. I did it in high school, actually.
Really?
It's a great way for local high schoolers to have their volunteer hours. And so you get a free shirt, you get a great meal. So come out and volunteer. You can sign up at our website.
Let's go to the next image. Oh.
The World Bird Sanctuary offers 2 free bird shows every day, sponsored by Missouri American Water, and they're stunning.
Let's take a look at one more.
As I mentioned, free rock climbing is one of the really fun, family-friendly events.
I want to try that, but I'm a little scared.
No, you don't have to be scared at all. You're all roped up. It's very safe. And then right next to it is the toddler bike course run by Bee-Works, which is adorable. They've got balance bikes, and they're racing around the course. It's a great way to introduce kids to bicycles, a sustainable mode of transit.
Okay, so this is happening in Forest Park. Mm-hmm. There's going to be a lot of people there.
Yep.
Of course, you could just drive to Forest Park and try to find a place to park, but I know you have some recommendations about using transit, or what would you like people to know ahead of time?
Absolutely. It can be a bit crowded for parking. So we do recommend that you either take the metro, there's shuttles that come from the metro, or you drive and park in the underground parking at the Danforth campus at WashU. So you could take the shuttle from the Kings Highway exit. And so you can get electric shuttles. We have 3 electric shuttles this year that WashU has donated. We're very excited about that part of the festival.
Yeah, and people could find out all this on your website, right?
Yep, and if you do take a mode of sustainable transit, or you bring a water bottle, or a couple of other sustainable things that you can do, you're able to get a raffle ticket, because it means that you took the EarthDay challenge. And so come to our booth, you get a raffle ticket, you could win a lot of great prizes. Okay,
just in a few seconds, would you wrap it up? This is a day of fun, but you can also learn things, experience things. How would you sum it up?
So this is a way to we make sustainability easy to incorporate into your life. And so this is a day where we celebrate all things sustainable. Hopefully you learn something. You get to buy something that you incorporate into your house, and you have a great experience with your family.
Well, Jess Watson, the Executive Director of EarthDay 365, thank you for taking the time to come here, and we'll see you in Forest Park.
Thanks so much, Steve. Great to be here.
All right, and we've got some healthy living coming up next. Remember, it's the St. Louis Earth Day Festival, April 20th and 21st at the Muni Grounds in Forest Park. Go to earthday-365.org, and you can find out all the details and go have fun. And we have more healthy living things to talk about when we come back.
What I love about St. Louis is the 79 unique neighborhoods nestled into 108 city parks, including Forest Park, which is actually larger than Central Park in New York, and of course, the beautiful Tower Grove Park where I'm at now. Oh, the St. Louis Blues. We've got the St. Louis Surge, 2-time WBCBL champions. We've got Harris Stowe, WashU, St. Louis University, and of course, the 11-time World Series champion, St. Louis Cardinals. So come experience St. Louis.
Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted.
I'm Belinda, and this is Willard, and we were adopted in 2021. When we first met Todd, he was singing a song, and I was like, wow, look at this kid with the biggest smile, and he has a big heart to match.
The energy you give Todd, you get it back from Todd.
Yeah.
Todd's a joy.
Yes, he
Todd
is.
really is a great joy.
I love him. You and you.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org.
When you graduate, they graduate.
Where's your emergency?
Everyone's on their way. What happened? Your friend's not breathing. She's dead? Yes, please get my mom and dad. Oh my
God! I'm Steve Potter. Welcome back to City Corner. And we'd like to welcome Michael Konecki with us. She's the arts editor for the Healthy Planet. I was going to say living for some reason, Healthy Living. But that's what the Healthy Planet is about, healthy living.
That is what it's all about.
It's the Healthy Planet magazine. Mm-hmm. And before we go and talk about the special event that's coming up, have you any experience with this, about what we talked about a few minutes ago with our last guest, Jess, about EarthDay?
Oh, of course I have. The Healthy Planet has a booth at EarthDay, of course, and we've been there several years. I personally was there a few years too, and it's nice to meet people. We give out samples of the magazine, etc. So
it seems like your two organizations would get along really well.
Oh, we're
you're
good partners.
You got the same kind of mindset, right?
Yes, exactly. And you know, it's one of those things that if everybody makes just one little change, it can make a big change. It's not like you have to change your whole lifestyle.
What do you mean? What little change?
For example, even from EarthDay, if you just kind of start thinking about using reusable grocery bags, that's one little change. Or if you take the metro or a bus or a carpool, that's one little change. And if everybody could make just a little change in their life,
I relate to that because
difference.
One too long ago, sometimes I take my own bag to the grocery store so I don't have to waste a man-made bag.
Yeah, there's no reason not to.
Right.
It's easy.
Well, this Natural Living Expo is put on by Healthy Living magazine.
Healthy Planet.
Healthy Planet. Why am I getting so confused?
Because it's all about healthy living. It is.
Well, tell me a little bit of history about this event then. How long has it been going on?
Well, this is the 42nd Expo, but we haven't been around for 42 years because some years it's a spring and fall event. This year it'll be in spring. I don't know if there's a fall event, but sometimes it's twice a year. And then, of course, during the pandemic, it was no years. So anyway, the whole event is at the Webster Groves Recreational Complex, and that's right at 44 and at the Elm exit. There's also a bus line right there, so you can take a bus. And the admission is only $2 a person, but that's for people 16 and over, but you can get in free if you bring 2 cans of non-perishable food, and that's for the food bank. So you can make a donation, help some people, and come into the expo free. We have the whole complex, 11 to 5, will be filled with vendors who will be talking about natural living. Like, as you can see here, they line up early because the first 200 in the door get a free tote bag.
And again, what's the location and the day?
It's on April 14th, which is Sunday, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Ample parking there. If you do drive, hope you carpool. And it's at 33 East Glendale, which is right at 44 and Elm. Mm-hmm. But folks come, and all the vendors are eager to talk with you. There'll be lots of food samples. There'll be health screenings, free health screenings. There'll be some chair massage available. We usually have some music, live music performing. So it's just a lovely day.
You got my attention. Did you say massage?
Yes. Yes.
Let's look at an image.
Okay, so along with all of the exhibitors, of course, we will have the Missouri Conservation Department will be there, as will the Missouri Coalition for the Environment. And then there'll be some nurseries as well. And they're always eager not only to market whatever they have that may be for sale, Many of the exhibitors are informational only. So they'll be talking with you about their services or how they can help make your life healthier, more natural.
Let's go to the next one.
And of course, there's always groups that'll be there discussing home composting and gardening and all the things that are just right for spring at this time.
Now, you know I'm a big gardener. You know that.
I know you are.
One
Me
thing
too.
I've never done was composting. What can you tell me about that? Is that easier than I think it would be?
Yes. In fact, one year at our expo, we had an exhibitor who made and marketed rain barrels and composting bins. And I still use a rain barrel in my garden, and I make my own compost. I mean, we're a small family, but when we take out the trash, literally in a week's worth, we don't fill one of those black trash bags. It's like just a little bit, because almost everything can be composted. Papers can be composted, all your kitchen scraps.
Well, where I live too, when they pick up the garbage, we have a separate can for recyclables. Remember back in the day when no one recycled anything?
Yeah, but now almost everything can be recycled or repurposed or reused in some way. And those things that are not under those umbrellas, you can at least buy larger quantity refillable containers, et cetera, so you're not replacing everything all the time.
Right. Let's look at the next image from the Natural Living Expo.
Oh, this is Forest Keeling Nursery. And
so it's for young people too.
Of course. There's things for little kids, color pages and all kinds of activities for them. But of course, it's important to start early, right? As you said, high school, you got interested in the environmental movement, me too, but it's important to start from little on so kids know, where does your food come from? You can grow some things. And Forest Keeling will have a lot of plants available right in time for spring. And as I said, Missouri Conservation Department will be there as well, talking about some of the trails and parks that you can go to, conservation areas that you can bring the whole family.
I would think this would be easy to get kids' attention, because it's not like they're going to a math class. This almost seems like fun.
It is fun. It's fun for everybody, whether you're a little kid or an older person, because there's so much to see and do and taste and smell. Lots of samples at our expo.
Oh, really? Like what?
Oh, yeah, all kinds of food samples and some beverage samples. So, yeah.
All right, let's take a look at another image.
Barrett Nutrition and Wellness is just one of the exhibitors that'll be there, and they do nutritional consulting. So many of us, of course, you'll have your primary care physician, but he may also say, well, you need to eat healthy.
Right.
And what does that mean? Not healthy for one person might not be healthy for another person.
Some people think it just means eat some broccoli once a week.
Yeah, no, it's not that. So they're going to be there, and they have all kinds of information about their food products. They'll also be giving out samples. Also, doTERRA essential oils and Young Living essential oils will be there. Arbonne International Skincare and Nutrition. So they also consult in nutrition. And of course, Nutrition Stop will be giving out wine and food samples.
That sounds good.
All of that factors into a healthy lifestyle, much of what we talked about earlier. If you just change one little thing in your diet, sometimes it can make a big difference in your health.
Yeah, and do you just feel like people get it more and more as time goes on? I mean, more people are open to these ideas?
Well, yeah. I mean, just look, recently we have a dear friend who has some health issues and has been told not to have any gluten. So now I'm a little more sensitive to when I go to a restaurant to see what's on the menu, if they have a gluten-free menu, because then he can join us. And so there's a lot of food sensitivities and allergies. So there's ways that you can still enjoy a full life if you just know how to tweak your diet a little bit.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed about that recently, I remember a day when any kind of frozen food you bought was 800 calories and probably had nothing healthy in it. I think it's absolutely amazing to go to the frozen food section now. There are some frozen food items that you could almost live on. They're that healthy. That did not used to exist.
No. We've gotten a lot wiser. And I always say there's more seasoning than salt. Years ago, it was just, people dumped a lot of salt on foods. And now we're getting used to the flavors of the foods. And I
actually look at ingredients and things. Let's take a look at another image.
Vitality Unlimited Spa is just one of the spas that will be there. They will be giving you chair massages. So you want to get there, they're free. You want to get there early so that you can enjoy that. Committed to Health Chiropractic will also be there doing screenings, health screenings and spinal screenings. And we'll also have some natural cosmetic vendors that can help to guide you. You know, we keep reading things about trying to get away from so much artificial things in our lives. I just read a big section in the Smithsonian magazine about plastics, trying to avoid plastics in trying to cut it out of your life. So there's lots of things that you'll be able to learn about at the expo.
It's the Natural Living Expo. Let's take a look at another shot we have.
There will be a few artists, and this is Creativity for the Soul. That's Linda Craft Wiggin, and this is a mandala. It's kind of a meditative sort of artwork that's done in spirals. She'll also have some of her jewelry there, and she conducts classes, and there'll be some other art vendors too. Oh, we can't forget our furry friends.
Are those doggy treats?
They are. This is Treats Unlimited, and they have some 15 locations in the St. Louis area, as well as in Kansas City and Columbia. But their thing is natural treats for dogs. You know, our friends need to be healthy too, and they also offer a lot of supplies that are
What's
safe.
this?
This is Arizmendi Eco Village, and it's located, used to be called Culver Way. It's located between Sarah and Van de Venner in the Central West End. And it is a development that's utilizing 3 100-year-old commercial buildings on Olive, a 125-year-old house that's on Westminster Place, and they're adding some new buildings. So it's going to create 4 distinct eco-friendly neighborhoods where there's a lot of common garden space, common space, apartment living, and the idea is that you blend with your neighbors.
I've noticed that just driving around St. Louis. In fact, I was in North St. Louis. I can't tell you exactly where it was off the top of my head, but I've noticed what look like little community gardens going in here and there, so people are doing that.
Well, that's exactly what that is.
Mike, we're just about out of time, so give me an overview about what, when, where, and...
What, where, when, and I got to say, that was Life of Riley and their fabulous handmade soaps. They'll also be there with their honeys. They raise bees. And their candies. So it's April 14th, Sunday, 11 to 5, the Natural Living Expo at the Webster Groves Recreational Complex on East Glendale. Can't miss it. It's a great big building. And we hope that you'll come. Either $2 admission or bring 2 canned goods and get in free.
And if we go to thehealthyplanet.com, can we find out more that way?
You can. You can also read our current magazine there and archived editions.
Well, that's good. Well, people probably recognize you because you're on a couple times a year with fun event ideas, and you're going to be back in a couple of months, and you're going to have some summer suggestions for us, right?
Oh, sure. Always some artful things to do.
Michael Konecki, thank you very much for being here and talking about the Natural Living Expo, which is coming up on April the 14th.
Thanks for inviting me, Steve.
And we'll see you in a couple of months.
See you then.
I'm Steve Potter. Thanks for being part of City Corner. Next time. Bye.